Hello and welcome to episode number 4 of Catching Up with the Backs. I'm your host, Nathan Kanter, the voice of the Salmon Arm Silverbacks. As you can see, we've got 2 more players, 2 new faces. In the top left corner, we've got Daniel Panetta, forward, just acquired this offseason, and also just acquired this offseason. On the bottom, we've got Carter Loney. Thanks for joining, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. So let's dive right in because you guys were both at camp. You both came out to Sycamus to take part in camp. So let's just start with you, Daniel. What was that experience like to meet some of the guys, meet the coaching staff, and get on the ice with some of your teammates? What was it like?
Obviously, it was like a really good experience to be there. Met most of the guys, and they're all really good guys. But for the most of it, being on the ice that much in that little days was a lot, and it was really good to do because really around here you can't get on the ice a whole lot, like a lot in 1 week. So doing all those high intensity skates were kind of really important to do and kind of get a feel for me being my first time in Salmon Arm.
Yeah, Carter, what about you?
No, it was good. It was good to put a name to a face for sure. You know, we talk a little over text and everything, but just seeing them in person is totally different, and being on the ice with them, they're future teammates. So it was really fun. I enjoyed it. It was a good weekend of hockey. So
how many hours total roughly were you guys on the ice?
Oh, it was quite a bit. I don't know. You were like skating twice a day, and then that one day you did quite the workout there outside in the heat, and then skate after. So it was eventful for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So Daniel, what are your kind of first impressions of meeting the coaching staff in person? What stood out to you?
Just kind of their work ethic, showing like they really love people that work really hard, and obviously each of the guys that I met were really good guys, and kind of it was nothing but great things from seeing them for the first time.
Carter, your thoughts?
No, it was awesome. They're a bunch of beauties for sure. You know, it's like off the ice, they're your friend, and they like want to get to know you and know what you're doing. And then on the ice, it's strictly business, but they also know how to have fun, and their coaching style, I like that. So it was really good.
Perfect. Let's rewind a little. I should have started with this. Daniel, where are you joining from? Where are you? And how have you, other than camp, what have you been up to the past few weeks?
So I'm joining you from Belleville, Ontario. Most people probably don't know where that is. It's just a couple hours out of Toronto. Really, I haven't been doing a whole lot, just kind of training, trying to get on the ice as much as I can, but not a whole lot you can really do.
And Carter, what about you?
From Winnipeg, Manitoba. Nothing crazy. Nobody really wants to come here, but yeah. And then just before the camp, just training and skating, and playing golf with a bunch of my friends. So nothing too crazy.
Okay. Is golf your go-to kind of COVID activity?
Like this year is probably the most I've really golfed. I've been kind of getting into it because all my friends are doing it. So, I mean, with everything going on, I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah. Daniel, do you have kind of a go-to activity that you've been doing, whether it's shows, reading, other games or stuff?
Well, this has been the year I really got into golf a little bit more. I've golfed a lot more this year than I really ever have, or even just went to the driving range. But I don't know, I'll mix in video games once in a while, but like I get into some TV shows, but not right now. Not really. There's a whole lot going on.
Okay. Let's get to the background, playing background on you guys so the fans can get to know a little bit more about you. Let's start with you, Daniel. How would you describe your type of game? How do you play?
I describe myself as a good two-way forward that's responsible with both ends of the ice, but I can put up some pretty good numbers when it's needed and kind of can play in all situations of the game.
Perfect. Carter, what about your style of play?
No, I think it's the same, two-way forward, and then I think I consider myself a big playmaker, and then I think I kind of surprise some people just with my shooting ability. So,
okay, yeah. Sweet. So Daniel, some background on you. You just wrapped up your 3rd season with the Wellington Dukes in the OJHL. Let's rewind though, a lot further back when you were a kid. Do you remember what age you were first on skates and who kind of introduced you to the game of hockey?
I would say probably 3 or 4. I was my first time skating, and I'm not 100% sure, but I'm obviously just guessing. Probably my parents were the ones that really introduced me to the game. But I don't really remember a whole lot about being that young for sure.
Now you played, thanks to Elite Prospects. The earliest I can kind of see is your AAA hockey with the Quinte Red Devils.
Yeah.
So that was, I guess, minor midget. What is that? Just your area? That's where your minor hockey was in Quinte?
Yeah. So like the Quinte Red Devils is basically just a big region around here, and that's kind of a highest level you can play if you want to live where I am and kind of play AAA, basically.
And then you went right from there from minor midget to junior A. Is that normal, or you made the team as a 16-year-old? That seems pretty young to me.
Yeah, most junior A teams around here take a couple 16-year-olds, and so I was lucky enough to be able to make that jump with also one of my teammates as well to come with me on that team. So it was really exciting at the time, of course.
And can you describe what your first season was like? Like, what was the transition from minor midget to junior A?
Oh, it's obviously very tough. You're playing against a lot older and stronger guys, but I found it went really well. Kind of a learning adjustments, but like I really loved it. The team was great. Everything was great about it, and can't be happier about that.
And it looks like you won a championship in your first year. We'll talk about that in just a bit, but let's go to Carter for a sec. Carter, so your early days, your dad, a Vancouver Canucks draft pick, had a playing career. Is it safe to say he introduced you to the game of hockey? How old were you?
I wouldn't say so. I think I was about like 8 years old when I first started playing. I think I sort of got myself into it, just like seeing it on TV and everything. My dad never really pushed for me to play it. It was kind of like whatever sport you pick or you decide, he's obviously going to support me with it. So, I mean, in a way, obviously, like I never really knew he played hockey until I was a little older. So, but no, I think I got myself into it a little bit.
So would you say, though, you mentioned other sports. Did you play other sports as a young kid?
Yeah, my first sport I played was soccer. I played that for quite a while, like 13 years. So, and then I've tried out like lacrosse for a year, you know, and that was kind of like the only other sports that I did like rec league or competitively. So.
Okay. Now, were you born in Winnipeg or you just grew up in Winnipeg?
No, I was actually born in Columbus, Ohio. I've lived like all over Canada really, and then it just so happens that my dad's family is from here and we got to move back here for his work. So it was a pretty unique situation.
Okay, let's talk about, you played at Rink Academy in Winnipeg, of course, for a few years. Mm-hmm. Why did you and your family decide that it was the best to kind of go the Canadian prep school route?
Just the development. Like at a young age, it's not so much just playing games and getting right into it. You kind of want to develop at a young age so you build the good habits. So obviously with the Rink, they're really good with that. They really want to push you to the next level and get you better. So when my dad heard about that, it was just like the perfect situation for me.
You were also drafted by the WHL's Victoria Royals. Was there ever a point, I think you went to a camp there, a couple camps. Yeah. Was that a possibility for you, or was it always kind of junior A route?
It was growing up with my dad, just him playing college hockey, and then he got a little experience in the Dub after he signed pro. So I kind of always grew up just wanting to play college hockey. He always like said that, and just as I got older, I kind of realized that was the path that I really wanted to take, and it was just the best fit for me.
Perfect. Daniel, it looks like you were also drafted by a major junior team, the Peterborough Petes. Was that ever kind of something that you considered going the OHL route?
Yeah, it was obviously once it happened, my family and we really considered doing it. But for me, I really enjoyed watching my brother kind of go through what he did in the college route and everything. And so that was kind of always really on my mind, but we always considered major junior as well to be an option.
Now, you did commit to Colgate University. At what point in your time with the Dukes, how did that kind of happen?
So I was talking to them a little bit at my major midget year. And then kind of as I went on to Wellington, I think I committed just maybe mid-October, mid-November it might have been.
Okay. And your brother just finished his 4th season with Colgate. Was that the only school on your radar? Was there other school interests or just Colgate?
Well, Colgate was kind of the main school I really talked to. And I would say that they were kind of the one school on my radar, I guess. But I was just at a young age to get that. I was really kind of excited to get that. And I jumped on it right as soon as possible.
So you played 3 full seasons. You're still fairly young. You're still a 2001 born, but you got 3 full seasons under your belt. How would you, all with Wellington? So it's a lot of games. How do you kind of summarize your time with the Dukes?
It's obviously a great organization. It's really close to home too, so it was nice living at home all this time. And like, there's nothing bad I could ever say about my 3 years in Wellington. I really enjoyed it. I'm obviously happy I was there for those 3 years.
What was it like to win a championship in your first year?
Oh, doing that in my first year was really exciting. Like, I had an unbelievable group of guys. Like, the older veterans on our team were absolute great guys, and it was just an amazing thing to do in your 16-year-old year, and to keep going like that. It was unbelievable.
Carter, you also have an NCAA Div-1 scholarship to the University of Minnesota Duluth. Can you talk about how and when that happened?
It was Bantam year. I always talked to them, and throughout playing with their rank, the 3 years, it kind of escalated each year, got more serious. And then I was also talking to other schools like Bemidji, and it didn't really kind of happen, whereas Bemidji offered me a scholarship right away, and then Duluth kind of jumped on that. And I always had my mindset I wanted to go to Duluth, just having friends that are committed there and just the type of hockey in the league that they play in. And so as soon as they offered, I jumped on it right away. Can't be happier with my decision.
Awesome. Who are some of the friends who are also committed to Minnesota?
I have Luke Melmuck. He's going in there as a true freshman this year. And then one of my friends I played at rink with, Hudson Thornton, he's going there.
Yeah.
And then just like Blake Biondi, guys I've met before.
So Luke, of course, a former Silverback. Thornton also in the BCHL. What have they told you about the league?
They say it's a very fast, high-skilled league. So I feel like that suits my playing style. So I'm really excited for next year to get on the ice.
Awesome. Also, quickly, along with Luke, you played for Team Canada West at the World Junior A Challenge. Also played at the CJHL Top Prospects game. Can you talk about those two experiences? Not a lot of people get to do that, to represent their country. What were those two experiences kind of like for you?
No, it was awesome. It was my first experience at stuff like that. And then obviously playing for Team Canada is a dream come true. I think every kid wants to do that. So to be able to be one of those kids was really exciting, and I was very humbled to play for them. It was a really good experience there. And then the prospects game, I went into that. I really wanted to show what I could do and everything. So it was a really cool experience as well.
Daniel, let's go back to you for a sec. How did you find out? Can you take us through finding out that you were traded to Salmon Arm? Where were you, and what was your first reaction?
Not sure exactly where I was. I think I was driving to, not sure, a place in town just to get a new stick or something. And I got a couple of text messages, and then I got a call from the coach, and it's kind of where it went down. I was really excited and couldn't be happier with the trade.
Awesome. What about you, Carter? How did you find out?
I was just Twitter and text. I was on my way to the lake, so I was very excited about it.
Awesome. Okay, back to you, Daniel. Let's see. What do you know so far about Salmon Arm? What have you been told? And based on your little experience so far there, what do you kind of expect BC to be like for you in Salmon?
There's not a whole lot I've heard about it, but obviously being there last week, it's an unbelievable spot. It's really beautiful, and I got to see the rink and everything, and I expect a lot of great things. Like couldn't be luckier to be at a nicer spot than that.
Carter, what has Luke told you about playing for the Silverbacks, if he's told you anything?
He says no. He says it's a really good town to play in. The fans are crazy. The community is really supporting. So I thought for sure it sounds like an unbelievable place to play. And then obviously you're in beautiful BC with all the mountains around. So that's also a bonus. And then I've heard the billets are awesome there. It just sounds like the perfect situation.
Perfect. Daniel, what are you most excited about for this upcoming season? Is there anything that's kind of number one? Is it just you just want to get back to playing hockey? What are you most looking forward to for next season?
I think you just said it. It was just getting back to playing hockey and kind of getting a little bit of normal coming back to everything and being around all the guys. I just really excited to kind of get everything going again here.
Are you feeling like things are getting closer to normal for you?
Yeah, well, especially being at the camp last week, I think that really made me feel like, oh, this is really going to happen. This is really going to happen. I'm really excited to be there. And it's going to be a sweet time.
Carter, what about you? What are you most excited about?
Like everybody else, just getting on the ice with all the guys and then hanging around with them and bonding and coming closer. Like I've heard we're gonna have a really good team this year, so just getting that familiarity and everything. I'm excited for it.
So talking about getting back to a new normal, like before the camp for you in Winnipeg, how close to normal was life for you?
Oh, I mean, Winnipeg, nobody really wants to come here, so everything was kind of normal. Like in June, we were skating twice a week, so
Wow.
that was really nice. And then now it's just full time. It's like everything's basically normal here, nothing crazy.
And that's because like no COVID cases essentially, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Or the numbers are super low.
Okay. And what has COVID life been like in terms of restrictions for you, Daniel? How, like, you're not in a big city like Toronto, so have you had kind of more freedom, or is it similar?
I would say we have a little bit more freedom compared to places like Toronto. We've been slowly opening up and we've been taking our time with everything. So the restrictions are slowly lifting, but kind of life is getting a little bit back to normal, but with still a little bit of restrictions, of course.
Okay. Carter, quickly, let's talk about your rookie season with Steinbach. Of course, before the trade to Salmon Arm, you were named the Rookie of the Year, pretty much a point per game for them. What was it like going from Rink Academy prep and you jumped right in and kind of, I mean, almost a point per game in year one? What was the transition like?
Yeah, no, it was kind of easy because I played the 3 years there and I wanted to develop, and my goal was to be an impact player as soon as I make it to the next level. And I know I played some games with them the year before to just call up, so kind of gave me a little taste for just the player and the playing style. It was good. So I think the transition was fairly easy for me.
How important was it? Because it looks like you played like over 10 games. Like when you were still with Rink Academy, you got in 11 games or something. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that helped a lot. How did that kind of help prepare you?
Oh, that helped. Just like it's a bigger league, so guys are strong. It's not like it's a physical league. It's tough on the body. So getting that familiarity with all the guys and how big they are, and kind of shows you what you got to work on in the summer, and then making the jump there just kind of makes it that much easier.
Going back to you, Daniel, thanks once again to Elite's Prospects. I learned that your cousin is NHLer, Chicago Blackhawks forward Andrew Shaw. Has he kind of given you and your brothers advice over the years, and what's your kind of relationship like with him?
It's pretty close, I'd say. We'll see him quite often, but yeah, he's obviously been very good to me and my brothers with giving us advice when he sees needed, of course. But he's kind of got his own thing going on too, so he doesn't have quite a bit as much time for us, of course. But he's been really good to us, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So right now, before we recorded, he's kind of dealing with. He's got some injuries, right? Right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's just kind of taking this rest of the year off just so he gets back to 100%. And make sure there's nothing lingering for next year.
Awesome. Let's talk about some NHL hockey, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, totally.
We're getting back to everything so far very smoothly, and I'm sure all hockey fans are real excited about how it's gone so far. Maybe not the results, but the fact that they've done everything in a bubble and it's going well so far is definitely a positive step. Let's talk about your NHL allegiances. Who is your team? And who is right now your favorite player? Daniel, we'll start with you.
Well, obviously for my team, I'm going to go with kind of the hometown for me is Toronto. I've always just loved watching their young kind of superstars, but also I'm a little with Chicago too, just because of my cousin. He's been there for so long, and you got to love the players that are there. Mm-hmm. And for my favorite player, probably Jonathan Toews. Just love the ability, the way he's able to play 200 foot. And he's able to put up some good numbers and everything like that. He's just an overall great player to watch.
Now, if it's Toews or if it's someone else, is there a player who you have tried to model your game after? Is there more than one player? Did you kind of do that growing up?
Yeah, Toews was really my main guy I love to look at. Obviously, like I said, because it's two-way play, and that's the way I want to be as when I play as a center, is to make sure I take care of the defensive end and the offensive end. And obviously, for me, I've seen him as being the biggest role model for that.
Perfect. Carter, who's your team?
I'm going to have to go where I was born, Columbus,
Oh.
Yeah, something different. And then I love watching Braden Point, just how explosive he is, and he's a smaller guy. And he's just so fun to watch. Just any of those guys like McDavid, really fun. And I think I try to model my game a little bit after Braden Point as well. So
Okay. Being a smaller forward.
yeah,
Part
exactly.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys, your teams are playing each other. Was this known before? Is there a bet going? Can we get a bet going? What's the deal?
No bet yet.
No.
Well, do each of you think, like, you think the Blue Jackets are going to knock them off? Do you think the Leafs are going to win? Who do you have?
I think it's a little up in the air. Toronto's had a couple injuries now, but still sticking with the team. I think they can pull it out, but
Okay.
you never know.
Faith in the Jackets?
I'm hoping on their big performance that they had last year, sweeping the Lightning. So I think they're going to do good and probably come out on top this series.
Which team do you think? I'm assuming you guys have been watching other series as well with like hockey all day, every day. It's been pretty fun. Yeah. Which team do you think has surprised you the most, whether it's good or bad? Maybe overachieved, underachieved. Which team has surprised you, Daniel?
I think Montreal, taking down the Penguins with all their kind of experience up front with Crosby and Malkin. I did not think they would even get one win out of the Penguins, but they're kind of taking the series right now, and they've really blown me away.
Who's been the X factor, you think, for the Habs?
I think it's Price. That guy, he always shows up in the big moments, and he plays well when he needs to.
Carter, what about you? Who's surprised you team-wise?
Team-wise, I'd probably say Calgary a little bit, honestly. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't think they were gonna do too good, and then I kind of watched the game yesterday, and I was like, oh wow, they can actually pull this off a little bit. So.
Is that because you have respect for the Jets, and you thought they might have an easier time?
Yeah, I mean, it's also the Jets. They kind of have some injuries, so that's maybe part of the reason why I was kind of shocked in a way. So.
Okay. Have you guys been watching the crazy Chicago-Edmonton? How much viewing of that series have you guys got in?
I've watched it quite a bit just because of McDavid. He's really fun to watch.
So do you think I'll start – whoever wants to go first, I guess. Are the Oilers going to come back and win it?
I have faith in them. They're going to win it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, like, anything can happen when you got McDavid up front and Draisaitl. Anything can happen.
Yeah, they kind of have to carry their team, don't they? Don't have a lot of depth. Other sports, before hockey came back, basketball is going on now. I mean, a lot of sports are. But other than hockey, was there a sport, we'll start with you, Daniel, that you missed the most, or are you kind of mostly only a hockey fan?
No, I love watching basketball, like a huge Toronto Raptors fan, but also, like, obviously it's not the time of year yet, but I'm a huge football fan. I love sitting down Sundays and just watching a couple games in that day. It's a big day for me.
Who's your NFL team, if you have one?
I kind of grew up, my dad was a huge Cowboys fan, so he kind of put it into me, and I've grown up as a big Cowboys fan as well.
Okay, makes sense. Carter, other sports for you?
Maybe basketball just a little bit. Like, I'm not crazy about it, but it's kind of fun to watch, just all the young stars.
Okay.
But, yeah.
But you didn't miss anything like
no.
That much, just hockey?
No, just hockey basically, yeah, exactly.
Okay. Let's see here. We're going to get into some rapid fire questions, a little bit more about what you guys have been up to before, I guess, Winnipeg kind of opened up a while ago, but we'll get into these questions anyways. Daniel, let's start with you. You mentioned shows. You said you tended to watch, I don't know if it's recently, but some shows. Do you have a go-to binge that you want to share with the viewers?
I'm a huge Office fan. I've watched that probably a good 5 times overall. That's kind of my go-to show if I need to binge something, for sure. Okay.
During COVID, is there a new show that you discovered that you had not previously watched?
Outer Banks I watched. It was new, kind of right when COVID hit, so I watched all that and I really enjoyed it, yeah.
What about, is there any movies? Any movies that you've been watching recently?
Anything that really pops up, like I'm a big comedy guy or things like that, so I kind of just watched The Other Guys as well and love that movie. So those type of movies I love to watch.
Do you have a go-to video game?
I haven't been playing too often, but when I play, it's usually MW, like Modern Warfare, or it's Fortnite.
Okay. Carter, let's go to you for TV show. Do you have a go-to binge?
It's a little bit of an older show, but it's called Psych. I was huge into that. I like watching that. I've watched it quite a few times. And then I recently just started Suits. I've heard it's really good. So it's been good so far.
Yeah, Suits is filmed in Toronto, filmed in Canada. And it also went a long time. What about movie? Do you have a movie that recently you've seen?
Movies are tough. Just Netflix is always the same old stuff. So it's kind of just anything that seems interesting or stuff I've already watched already. So.
Okay. What about video games? Go-to video games?
I'm a big Call of Duty guy. It's like the only game I really play. So definitely Call of Duty.
You'll fit right in. A bunch of the guys play Call of Duty. I'm sure you've heard. What about workouts? Did you guys at any point have to do a home workout, or did you always have access to a gym? What did you guys get up to? Did COVID kind of ruin your workout routine?
Yeah, so my gym was shut down for quite a while. I don't think about till June. So since that kind of part, I've been just working. I was working out in my basement the whole time, and we don't really have much of kind of weights and everything to do with, but it got me by for sure.
Okay. What about Carter? Has your gym always been open?
Like it probably was like down for just a month, really. So I kind of just took that time off after the season, and then when it started back up, I was in there right away. So.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Lastly, here for kind of the rapid fire COVID activities. If COVID was lifted, let's say magically tomorrow, all restrictions gone, what is the first activity you would do and why? We'll go to you, Daniel.
Probably it'd be to go out. I turned 19 during all this too, so I haven't really got my first taste of actually really going out to the bars and stuff like that. So that'd probably be my first choice.
Okay, sweet. Carter?
The exact same thing. I just turned 18, so definitely going out with a bunch of the guys.
Okay, sweet. Let's get to, we got a couple submitted questions from some fans. This first one from Bob Boxell, which is for both of you, each of you. We'll start with you, Daniel. This was submitted on Facebook. How would you describe your competitiveness, and how do you maintain that every shift?
I think I just hate losing. Like, that's my mindset. Like, whenever I'm on the ice, I just don't. Like, my mindset is I got to win. I got to win this shift. I got to win the puck battle. It's kind of pushes me through every shift. What
about you, Carter?
I'd say just my mindset is being the best player on the ice. You know, I want to stand out. I want people to notice me. So going every shift as hard as I can to be noticed.
Sweet. Okay, second question. This one is for you, Carter, from Bobby Stewart, submitted on Instagram. Who taught you the defensive end of the ice? Taking a shot at your dad as well, saying he knows it was not your dad.
I'd have to say the rink and everything in my development. I got the good genes of the skating for sure.
That reminds me, actually, we'll go off of that. Is there one, and we'll start with you, Carter. Is there a coach growing up who you kind of can look to who really, really helped you develop? It can be from when you were little all the way up to even last year. Who's one coach who kind of stands out to you?
Coach, I'd probably say at the place that I train at, John Cara, you know, he's really personable with you and does like everything that you need to get better. So he's really into what your development is. Just looking, like, for instance, at our gym, we do everything like, it's like so scientific. Like, they have all these numbers and just their power output. So they really break it down too.
Now, when you say scientific, does that include your nutrition too? Like, are you on a strict diet?
Like, it kind of depends on your workout plan.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's some guys that are more strict than others, but yeah, they design all that for you. So it's awesome.
Awesome. Daniel, what about you? Is there a coach who you can look to who really, really helped you develop?
Yeah, definitely in my younger years with Quinny, I had kind of one main coach was Randy Ewens, and he was just really great at even just taking me away from all the guys and even just kind of giving me little skill sessions. And like, he was great with my development through my younger years for sure.
Awesome. Last question for both of you. So we'll start with you, Daniel. This is from Zach's Corner, submitted on Instagram. What is your favorite music genre?
That's a tough question. I like listening to the kind of everything, but I'd probably say rap, really.
Okay, so on top of that, do you have a go-to playlist that you would kind of listen to all the time, or did you switch it up?
I have like 3 main playlists that I can listen to at any time because I'm into really any music. But yeah, there's not one kind of particular playlist that I just listen to all the time.
Okay. What about you, Carter? Favorite music genre?
I go with country, 100% country.
Oh.
I'm a big country guy.
Okay, so what's your pregame playlist? Is there something that changes?
Not a whole lot. Maybe I'll listen to like a few rap songs, but other than that, I'm a big like upbeat country songs. I really like those. So
Throw out some for a guy who does not know country. You got to throw out some names, some artists, some songs.
Cool artists. You got Luke Combs, Kane Brown, Morgan Wallen, Thomas Rhett. And you got like High Valley. And then I don't know if you know something like Shallow. That was a popular one.
Okay.
So yeah.
Do you have some go-to rap artists, Daniel?
No, I got a couple, like obviously Drake but I don't listen to the hard stuff. I usually like kind of like Chance the Rapper's a big one for me as well. But no, I listen to kind of what really I like.
Okay, perfect. That's it for us. We're getting out of time here. We're going to run out of time on the Zoom meeting. So got the free account. So thanks, guys, for joining us. We'll see you not too far from now when we're going to be at Maine Training Camp in September. So thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you there.
Awesome. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.